Thoughts shape reality, transforming detrimental notions into a stagnant existence or one brimming with opportunities in everyday entrepreneurship. Consistency in positive thinking cultivates self-assurance, while emotional regulation prevents old habits from ensnaring us. Through discipline, motivational aphorisms such as, "What you think, you attract," yield outcomes that vanquish mental lethargy, prompting an introspection into what holds us captive. Many remain stagnant, expecting to gain without reciprocation, neglecting that the mind charts the course with its quiet potency. In personal entrepreneurship, daily discipline fortifies emotional control, cultivating self-assurance that propels tangible strides. Motivational aphorisms resonate. Consistent action engenders genuine transformation, and outcomes manifest when we cease finger-pointing and instead foster dialogues that fundamentally upheaval perspectives. Stagnation is a subtle choice of the mind, but entrepreneurship thrives on consistency and discipline to cultivate genuine self-confidence. By mastering our emotions, we transform challenges into opportunities, reaping results that leave us astounded. Motivational phrases remind us that a path always exists, especially when a simple conversation plants a profound reflection. In the bustling central square, a man seated on the ground extended his hand, soliciting alms from passers-by. Subsisting on the meager scraps fate tossed his way. One day, a successful businessman stops and, instead of merely offering coins, looks him in the eyes with genuine curiosity. In the entrepreneurship of life, this moment becomes a lesson. Why merely receive when offering value can change everything? The question reverberates like lightning. What if, instead of asking, you gave something in return? This seed of reflection awakens emotional control, planting discipline for actions that build self-confidence and tangible results. Accustomed to passivity, the beggar felt a prickle of doubt mingled with hope upon hearing those words from the entrepreneur. Motivational phrases whispered in his mind, "Giving is the first step toward receiving abundance," and entrepreneurship revealed itself not as luck, but as intentional exchange. With consistency in this new outlook, emotional control quelled the fear of failure, fostering discipline that led to surprising results. The man blinked, processing, while the square's hubbub continued in the background, a reminder that time waits for no one. This simple interaction opened the door to a game-changing contemplation. As the businessman departs, leaving the beggar with that echoing question, the square's air seems lighter, imbued with possibility. In the realm of entrepreneurship, moments like these test our self-assurance, beckoning discipline to supplant inertia with decisive action. Motivational aphorisms spring to life. What you offer defines who you are, and emotional regulation aids in navigating this pivotal turn. Outcomes begin to materialize in the mind's eye, akin to blossoms pushing through concrete. Now, alone with his musings, he commences to ponder what his life has been silently imploring. The businessman's words echoed in the man's mind, like a scratched record that wouldn't stop playing, compelling him to re-examine his own life of passive waiting. He gradually realizes that the destitution surrounding him might be a reflection of an attitude that merely requests without offering anything in return, and this ignites a dormant spark of self-reliance. In personal entrepreneurship, this introspection is the initial stride. With consistency, emotional regulation tames the fear of change, and motivational phrases like, "A small action conquers great inertia," foster the discipline required for tangible experimentation. He resolves to try, refraining from extending his hand for 2 full days, experiencing the void that unearths hidden strengths. This quiet hiatus paves the way for a simple idea that holds the potential to blossom into something substantial. As days unfold without any orders, the man perceives the burden of idleness, yet also experiences a novel clarity, as if the silence has scoured the dust from his mind. Entrepreneurship commences in this vein, demanding the discipline to shatter old routines and fostering an emotional fortitude that transmutes doubt into resolute determination. Motivational aphorisms resonate softly. Consistency transforms seeds into harvests, and nascent results manifest as a tentative yet burgeoning self-assurance. On the 3rd day, he surveys his surroundings and discerns wildflowers burgeoning nearby, a gift from nature imploring to be utilized. With an inner smile, he gathers them, prepared to proffer them in exchange for coins, testing whether the act of giving can alter his fortunes. This gathering of flowers signifies the genesis of a subtle transformation, wherein humankind, for the first time, savors the exquisite sweetness of proactive entrepreneurship, guided by discipline and emotional fortitude. Self-assurance blossoms, much like those vibrant petals, and motivational aphorisms resound. What you give returns manifold, foretelling outcomes that transcend the ephemeral. He rises, blossoms in hand, traversing the plaza with a newfound gait. No longer stooped beneath the burden of anticipation, the ambient murmur appears to beckon him towards exploration, and his heart quickens with the prospect of affirmative responses. Now, as he approaches individuals, he braces himself to witness how this simple exchange might rekindle his inherent dignity. With flowers in hand, the man approaches people in the square, offering them in exchange for coins, and notices something magical. Gazes shift, from pity to a genuine smile, as if he had turned an invisible page. This simple exchange restores the dignity that mendicancy had stolen, and consistency in this action builds self-confidence that shines brighter than any bill in his pocket. Emotional control maintains equilibrium when a refusal arises, and motivational phrases like "giving value attracts value back" propel the discipline to persist. He feels his chest lighten, reaping results that extend beyond mere money, respect, and a spark of pride. Days pass in this manner, and the encounter with the businessman emerges as an unexpected test. The businessman, passing through the square again, stops in surprise upon seeing the man with fresh flowers, confidently bartering instead of begging. "Well, well, I see you've become quite the entrepreneur," he remarks, a nod of approval warming the impromptu vendor's heart. Personal evolution blossoms in this exchange, where discipline transforms a fleeting idea into habit, and emotional control tames any tremor of doubt. Motivational phrases echo. Consistency unveils the potential within you, fostering self-assurance that leads to palpable results, like a smile that no longer leaves his face. The man laughs inwardly, contemplating how close he was to remaining unseen, but now walks with a renewed sense of purpose. This personal discovery marks a turning point, where offering flowers becomes a symbol of a grander self-conception, guided by daily discipline and emotional control. Self-assurance blossoms in tandem with sales, and motivational phrases reinforce the notion. What you exchange defines your worth, promising outcomes that diffuse through the air like perfume. The businessman departs, leaving the man with an unanswered question hanging in the air regarding his next move, and he senses that the square, once a prison, is now a stage for something monumental. With each successful exchange, his dignity solidifies, opening the doors to definitively abandon his old life and embrace a new purpose. Leaving flowers behind like a closed chapter, the man uses his initial savings to purchase a small stock of fresh blooms, transforming the town square into his daily sales stage, where the respect of others begins to flow like a steady river. Begging becomes a distant memory, and the consistency in offering value builds a routine of discipline that fortifies emotional control against adverse days. Motivational phrases dance in his mind. Discipline forges the path to abundance, elevating his self-confidence to heights he never dreamed of, reaping rewards in the form of loyal customers and a permanent smile. 6 months thus fly by, and he finds himself a respected merchant, his chest swelling with quiet pride. An inevitable reunion with his former benefactor brings the climax to this unexpected journey. The businessman, upon encountering him again, barely recognizes the transformed man, now with a makeshift stall and eyes full of light, sharing as he always knew he was a merchant at heart. This revelation closes the loop, demonstrating that the inner entrepreneurship was merely awaiting a spark to ignite, guided by consistency and emotional control that tames ancient fears. Motivational phrases echo. Self-confidence awakens the giant within, leading to results that multiply, such as partnerships and grander plans. The man chuckles lightly, admitting that what began with a single flower now fills his life with purpose, a touch of humor in the irony of how the simple becomes magnificent. With his benefactor by his side, he feels this story is just the beginning of something eternal. This complete transformation redefines man's purpose, where shedding the old self makes room for a new one, nurtured by daily discipline and emotional control that balances triumphs and setbacks. Self-assurance becomes the bedrock, and motivational phrases reinforce. Real results stem from persistent action, spreading ripples of change that touch those around him. The town square, a silent witness, now resonates with his energy, and the reunion underscores that the value was always there, awaiting its offering. With a nod of gratitude, he gazes at the horizon, poised for grander lessons on what it truly means to give of oneself in life. This simple narrative imparts the lesson that true greatness stems from what we offer the world, rather than what we solicit from it. It echoes the wisdom that positive thoughts shape tangible destinies and shatter the shackles of stagnation. In our daily lives, consistent value-giving cultivates self-assurance that can weather any storm, while emotional regulation steers us toward disciplined actions that yield enduring outcomes. Motivational aphorisms such as, "Your mind is the architect of your life," remind us that there is always something to share, even if it's merely a flower or a smile, thereby transforming limitations into legacies. This universal teaching resonates with us all, demonstrating that the power of exchange is within reach, awaiting only a courageous step. Applied judiciously, it illuminates paths for those feeling ensnared, inviting them on a collective journey of growth. Greatness emerges when we cease merely waiting and commence contributing, re-establishing the notion that the mind dictates all, cultivating discipline to nurture a self-perception that magnetizes abundance. Through emotional regulation, we process rejections as valuable lessons, and the unwavering reinforcement of motivational maxims, "You reap what you sow," yields outcomes that catalyze profound transformations. Self-assurance blossoms from this consistent practice, substantiating the principle that no individual is too insignificant to offer something of value, whether in professional endeavors or personal connections. A touch of levity. Envision a world where everyone offered flowers instead of complaints. It would be a veritable garden. This pragmatic application beckons us to introspect and awaken our dormant potential. This core lesson propels us toward a renewed perspective, wherein offering defines our very essence, and the daily constancy of discipline and emotional control cultivates a self-assurance that yields astonishing results. Motivational aphorisms resonate as guiding principles. There is always a flower to give, fostering a positive self-perception that transmutes mundane routines into extraordinary ones. In the grand entrepreneurship of life, this signifies that, even in the most unpretentious moments, the act of giving unlocks unforeseen opportunities, fortifying deeper connections and grander purposes. Armed with this wisdom, the horizon broadens, poised for shared narratives that unite and inspire. This tale of the man in the square illustrates that minor adjustments can precipitate profound transformations. And now it is your turn to embrace this principle by cultivating consistency and discipline to reap results that alter everything. Share with me in the comments how you have already discovered peace and equilibrium in moments of giving rather than asking, thereby inspiring others with your authentic experience. Motivational phrases like, "Your action today defines your tomorrow," propel us forward, and emotional control helps maintain focus on this valuable exchange. Subscribe to the channel for more content that builds self-confidence, and activate notifications so you don't miss any life lessons. Together, we will transform stagnation into momentum, darkness into clarity, moving forward, one step at a time. What do you think about incorporating this lesson into your routine, offering something simple that generates value for someone, something you can implement in what you're doing today, and observing the results blossom with discipline and self-assurance? Don't forget to subscribe and activate the notification bell to continue learning about entrepreneurship, discipline, personal prosperity, and daily growth. This connection makes us stronger, ready to share and evolve until the next video.